Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent. A goal joining you from the Emirates, trying to catch my breath after a quite thrilling game here. I'm sure you're feeling exactly the same wherever you watched it around the world. Just watching Alexander Zinchenko head off back down the tunnel after doing his TV interviews. What a performance from him today, and what a game this was. Arsenal winning 3-2, an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Eddie Nketiah popping up in the last minute to snatch all 3 points for Arsenal, who responded to Manchester City's victory early in the day. They've moved 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League again with a game in hand, and they've opened up an 11-point lead over Manchester United, again with a game in hand. United now sitting fourth with Newcastle third. It's just been a thrilling afternoon here at the Emirates. Highs and lows. United played their part as well. Some really good game. And what Arsenal will learn from this, what they will get from the manner of the victory, the way they came back from disappointment at conceding the goal in the second half to make it 2-2, to coming back to snatching it all right at the end. The belief it will give them, it feels like a really big day, a big weekend in the title race really, because Arsenal would have been under pressure going into this one. With United, the way they came back to beat City, the way they came back to beat Spurs on the Thursday night, and then the way they rolled over Wolves earlier today, suddenly 6 points in the space of a few days. Suddenly the pressure was on Arsenal. Everyone was looking at them. How were they going to respond? United came here in confident mood on the back of a really good run of form. Could Arsenal handle it? Could they respond? And they did just that. They deserved it, no doubt about it. When you look at the XG at the end of the game, it was, I think it was something like 2.8 to minus to 0.3. United really didn't do much in front of goal. Scored an absolute belter through Rashford in the first half, and then scored because of a Ramsdale mistake from a corner in the second half. Apart from that, they didn't really create much. They played well. I'm not saying United didn't play well. I thought they did, and I thought the defenders were excellent. Varane and Martinez, I thought, were exceptional. Rashford was always a threat, but Arsenal were definitely the better team. And as the second half wore on, the pressure was just growing. Arsenal looking to get a winner. Nketiah had one saved by De Gea. You thought that was going to be the one big chance that they didn't manage to take, but then right at the end, Nketiah doing what he does best, that sort of poacher inside the 6-yard box, turning in Granit Xhaka's deflected shot. There was absolute tension when VAR checked it, and it was so tight, and you didn't know how it was going to go. And then the cheer inside, the cheer was louder once the goal was given than it was in real time, if you see what I mean. It was just like celebrated twice. It was absolute chaotic scenes. It really was. Check out the video I've posted on my social media channels of the celebrations after full time. This felt like a big afternoon for Arsenal. Like I said, coming into it under the pressure they were, given what Manchester City had done, to get the win and the manner that they did it, I just think it just felt like a really big afternoon. There was lots of good performances, because I thought they did play very well. It was a really difficult game, but I thought they played well, and they coped with the situation really impressively as well. For such a young team, there was some big performances out there. I thought Zinchenko, as I said at the start, absolutely exceptional. He was a guy before the match, in the pre-match huddle, he was leading things there, Zinchenko, and he carried that on during the game as well. He was constantly pushing, constantly going up to his teammates. When Leandro Trossard came on for his debut, 15 minutes to go, Zinchenko was right in his face straight away, geeing him up, and Trossard had a big impact on the goal itself. So it was just a really big afternoon for him. I thought I thought Bukayo Saka was excellent. I thought Eddie Nketiah, this is Eddie Nketiah's biggest game of his career, no doubt about it. 2 goals to score a winner like that against Manchester United in such a crucial game. He hasn't had a bigger moment in his career. This was it. The first goal was excellent. I thought his header was great. Really good run, back post run, clever finish from Xhaka's pass. But the second goal, to be in the position to score it, having just seen a shot saved as well, I think it speaks a lot about him. And I just thought this was undoubtedly the biggest moment in Nketiah's career. And there was a lot of concern when Jesus got the injury. We all were concerned, and rightly so, because we didn't know how it was going to go. But since he's come into the side, since Jesus' injury, it's 6 games, 6 goals for Eddie Nketiah, and 2 goals here against United on the biggest of days. You can't say much more than that. Full credit to him, and he's been absolutely superb. Right, player ratings time. Aaron Ramsdale, it's a weird one for Ramsdale. Made a couple of really good saves. One just after Arsenal made it 2-1. One save from Rashford that took a deflection, was absolutely unreal. Just a brilliant save. But then just a couple of moments later, it was his mistake from the corner which led to Martinez equalising. He flapped it a little bit, but it was the one error he made. I thought in the rest of the game, I thought he played really well. Made a couple of sharp stops. I thought he dealt with most crosses apart from that one that led to the mistake well. So I thought it was a decent afternoon, just with that one little blot in his copybook with a mistake for Martinez's header. I'm going to give Ramsdale a 7. Ben White really struggled. He hasn't struggled much this season, but he really struggled in the first half. He got an early booking, and I think that affected him. He just looked nervy. United tried to target him, and it was a difficult game for him. He only lasted 45 minutes. Arteta brought Tomiyasu in for the second half, and I'm not surprised about that, because it was a difficult afternoon for Ben White. So I'm going to give him a 5. I thought Saliba and Gabriel played well. Both of them at the back, they weren't caused too many problems. Rashford's goal was from a long distance out. The second goal obviously was from a mistake from Ramsdale, so I'm not going to blame the centre-backs really for it. I thought they both played very, very well and coped with Weghorst, who was awful. I thought coped with him comfortably. So I'm going to give both of those guys a 7. Zinchenko, my man of the match, hands down. I thought it was just absolutely exceptional. I'm going to give him a 9, just for all the reasons I listed earlier on in this video. I just thought it was a fabulous performance from him, and you know, he's going to have such a big part to play in the second half of the season. If Arsenal are going to wrestle the title away from Manchester City, he's going to have a big part to play. He's just such an important player. The way he just drifts in, his ability to split the lines of his passing ability is just so good. He's so crucial to this Arsenal team. You can understand why Kieran Tierney does not really get a look in when Zinchenko is fit. So he gets a 9. Partey, I thought, struggled at times, especially in the first half. Wasn't his best performance considering the form he came into this game in. So I gave Partey a 7. Xhaka, I thought, played well. Gave Xhaka an 8. Odegaard, as good as he has been in recent weeks, constantly on the ball, driving forward. I thought in the first half, when Arsenal were a little bit under par, he was the one player who was really looking to make something happen and play on the front foot. His intensity was as it always has been. So I give him an 8. Forwards, I thought Saka gave Luke Shaw a torrid time. Brilliant goal from Kai Saka out of absolutely nowhere. Was really unlucky just after that not to get a second with a shot that hit the post. Going to give him an 8. Eddie Nketiah has to get a 9 as well. 2 goals, the winner in injury time. You know, what more can you do as a striker? So he gets a 9. Just beaten, even though he scored the 2 goals, he just gets beaten to the man of the match performance for me than Zinchenko, because I thought Zinchenko was great. Martinelli worked as he always does, but it didn't really happen for him many times. Him and Wan-Bissaka is a good battle. And I thought Wan-Bissaka did well against him, so I give Martinelli a 7. A few substitutes. Tomiyasu obviously came on at half time. Thought he did well. He was much better than Ben White was. I thought he coped pretty well with Rashford, who was a real threat every time he got the ball. But Tomiyasu played well. He played a part in Saka's goal as well. So I give Tomiyasu a 7. Trossard came on for the last 15 minutes, not too long, but he looked bright. He really did. He played a part in the winner as well, and there was a couple of times after that in injury time when, you know, Arsenal were trying to keep possession, trying to keep hold of the ball. He made a couple of really good darts down into the corner, kept the ball well, showed really good technique. I thought it was a good cameo from Trossard in a really big game, thrown in amid that sort of intensity, that sort of atmosphere. It was a good performance from him, and certainly good signs for the future. Okay, that's it from me. Sorry if I've rambled and I've talked pretty quickly, but still trying to get the heart rate down a little bit after what has been a fabulous afternoon at the Emirates. 3 points for Arsenal, 5 points clear, game in hand. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Arsenal fans. Speak to you soon.